The first domestic eco-office. World news. Kazakhstan antivirus solutions. What the robot named Shana can do. Tech control, biometric payment system. Kazakhstan news. The first Kazakhstani eco-office was presented in Almaty. Outside the building resembles an ordinary business center decorated in gray-brown tones. There are dozens of similar business centers in the southern capital. However, this is only the tip of the iceberg. The most interesting, as always, is hidden underwater. In this case, inside the architectural project. It is based on smart engineering and a set of resource-saving technologies. Maxim Barishev, the head of the eco-office, calls his pet project a green garden in the stone jungle, which he began to imagine in his head back when he was at school. However, in practice, he did not dare to implement the project until it was inspired by a natural disaster. There was a big hurricane in Almaty and a large number of trees were torn away in Medeo Grove. Since that moment, I have thought, how can we preserve the ecology of our city? And I began to search for the land. The agreement on the project took about 3 years, and then construction began, which took about a year and a half. As a result, a 6-story building with an area of 1,200 square meters was erected. The building consumes only half of the resources from city heat and electricity systems. The rest is replenished with alternative energy sources, for example, from its 20 solar panels which are installed on the roof. Their nominal power is 300 watts, enough to electrify several floors. Next to the solar panels are solar collectors, devices for collecting the thermal energy of the sun from visible light and invisible infrared radiation. They produce 200 liters of hot water a day, which is enough to provide with 100 people in one working day. Solar energy is supplied to the solar system, which in turn transfers radiation through the heat exchanger to cold water supply. And so the cold water heats up, becomes hot, and goes into the mixer. Here, the 2 panels are installed, each panel of 1,900 watts, in total 3.8 kilowatts. There is a reservoir for collecting rainwater right under the roof. Its capacity is 4 tons. Such a volume is sufficient to provide the entire building with technical water. Moreover, it is used repeatedly with the help of a recirculation system. And that's not it. Instead of the usual glass, there is an eco-friendly glass with a special spraying. We conducted a research, and according to the results of the research, we were asked to build narrow windows on the south side. This size was enough for the light to penetrate inside and was comfortable enough for our employees. According to Maxim Barishev, the monthly utility fee for a similar structure without the use of green technologies would be 350,000 tenge, while the eco-office cost only 70,000. Thus, a building worth 280 million tenge will pay back approximately in 7 years. But the project manager does not want to stop there. He plans to install another series of solar panels on the roof. They will make the house completely autonomous and will allow selling electricity to the central systems. The investment company, Apollo Global Management, founded by billionaire Leon Black, has created the largest private equity fund in history. The portfolio of its financial assets totals $23.5 billion. The previous record was held by Blackstone Capital Partners, which at the peak of market growth had a volume of $21.7 billion. In general, in 2017, investment financial institutions around the world attracted $1.5 trillion.
Programming for years.
Facebook is in talks with Hollywood studios and production companies to launch its own program until the end of this summer. The TV program will be aimed at the audience at the age of 13 to 34 years old. At the same time, in its TV program, the social network does not plan to broadcast stories about children and adolescents, political dramas, or news. The production of each episode will cost about $3 million, which corresponds to the budgets of a typical high-quality Hollywood TV show.
And rough language. Virus WannaCry.
WannaCry?
WannaCry.
WannaCry.
WannaCry. WannaCry. WannaCry. WannaCry.
The news about the WannaCry virus stirred up the computer world on May 12, 2017. That day, more than 500,000 desktops in 150 countries were under attack. The network worm skillfully blocked almost all files stored on hard disk and demanded a cash ransom for decryption. According to analysts, the hacker attack was successful only because many antiviruses were defenseless against the new malicious code. Many people do not mean everyone. TNT Security is the only Kazakh manufacturer of antivirus solutions, which was among the first in the CIS to discover WannaCry, the first to analyze the actions of software and to make a detailed description. To date, the market for antivirus solutions is quite extensive. There are different technologies, different approaches. We do not offer an ordinary antivirus in its standard and classical sense. We offer something new, namely a system for in-depth analysis of viruses. Domestic development is called T-Lab. Technically, it is designed as a server inside which special software is installed. It is connected to the client's local network and is set with the required configuration. This allows you to determine the target attacks that are not noticeable for typical antiviruses. We can determine whether a program is legitimate or malicious. One of the features of our system is that with the data that is obtained at the output, we can interpret in the activity trees, which represent a system of interaction of objects during the analysis of behavior. Then activity trees are systematized, and on the basis of the data obtained, signatures are determined. And here you can trace the uniqueness of the Kazakhstan service. It does the analysis not at the binary level, but based on the behavior of the program. The threat level can be divided into different categories. For example, if the program has a proxy activity indicator, it means it tries to commit malicious acts not with its own hands. For ordinary programs, this is not typical. Thus, security officers are able to block or skip the action of the program in one click. In fact, this is a specific applied solution for specialists in the information protection of the quasi-public sector. Therefore, domestic antivirus solutions are planned to be integrated with the program Cyber Shield of Kazakhstan. We are already thinking about a strategy for entering the foreign market. There's an interest from Ukraine, from Malaysia, and again, SOC centers, incident response centers, are interested in such systems. They even ask about pilot testing, plan to work with them in this direction. Today, the Kazakh antivirus laboratory is developing a new product called TFS. This is a polymorphic file system that creates complex protection for flashcards. Such a product has no analogs in the world, so several venture funds, both Kazakhstani and foreign, have already shown their interest in it. Hello, you have reached the information desk of our company. My name is Shana and I'm a robot consultant. A few years ago, Shana was an ordinary chatbot in the company of K-Cell, with a vocabulary slightly above the vocabulary of Elochka Shukina from Ilf and Petrov's book. However, 2 months ago, she was appointed a virtual assistant, and promotion for the digital girl was good. She learned to recognize live speech in 2 languages and now can freely answer questions like real employees of a call center.
Как проверить баланс?
Ваш баланс составляет 29 и 86. Только что я вам отправила сообщение об остатке бонуса. Хотите, чтобы я повторила?
Этот проект был запущен, собственно, с 2 целями.
This project was launched with 2 objectives. First, to increase the level of self-service. The second goal is to improve accessibility to the reference and call center of the company by saving time, because some of the calls, as we expected, should be addressed to the robot Shana.
Как мы предполагали, должна перейти к роботу Жанне.
At peak times, it can simultaneously serve up to 200 customers. Thanks to this, 9 out of 10 subscribers reach the help desk within 1 minute, which increases the effectiveness of this process by 20%. In general, Shana handles about 30,000 calls per day. Such impressive results were achieved due to the introduction of a unique technology of speech recognition. It allows you to extract meaning from a free, unconstrained sentence and to answer with mathematical accuracy. Robot Shana consists of two subsystems. We call them engines. The first is called ears, so-called asar. This is the engine that is responsible for speech recognition. It is based on the laws of mathematics, on probability theory, and on the so-called DNN. The second subsystem of Shana is her brain. It is a library integrated with other services of the company. The capacity of the content base of the robot consultant is 200,000 words. This amount of memory is enough to answer typical requests.
На сегодняшний момент Жанна умеет вести информационное.
To date, Shana is able to give general information. This is a very important part. But besides this, it has dynamic functions. In addition to what she says, she can still activate, deactivate any service.
Отключить какую-либо услугу.
Also, Shana sends out internet settings, changes the tariff plan, tells about the special offers on roaming services. After listening to the subscriber's question, the smart machine determines the topic of the request, asks for additional information, and offers a solution. Every day, the voice bot passes technical trainings to improve the skills of working with clients. Now we are actively working on the development of new topics such as a contract phone, a different tariff. This is the case when the client does not know the name of his plan. In general, within 6 months, I think we will come up with the most detailed base.
Скажем так, максимально подробную базу знаний, которая есть сейчас.
This means that Shana will improve her skills and learn how to advise on all services and shares of the company. But this, perhaps, is not the main thing. Soon Shana will have a colleague on the software code named Camila. We'll tell you about her in more details in one of the following programs. Startup Dictionary. Dealflow. From English, the expression is literally translated as a stream of transactions. This term is usually used by investors when time handicap starts with startups. Example of use: the killer feature of competitors block the deal flow. Olshas Kundakbayev, General Director of Payment Organization. Work experience in creating and promoting financial products. Specialization: IT, FinTech. Review of the startup. Look at me. Look at me, electronic payment system that works with the help of face recognition technology.
Такого рода проекты пока я еще не видел в Казахстане. Это, мне кажется, очень интересно, как сама идея.
I have not seen such a project in Kazakhstan yet. The idea itself seems very interesting to me, especially that developers offer to link the virtual data to an electronic wallet or to a client's bank card. However, today this idea is not so easy to implement. The difficulties will be at the legislative level. Plus, the solution that the guys are offering through electronic money is a very laborious process that will take a lot of time and effort. I know this not by hearsay because we also work with electronic money. By the way, the budget will be needed. I think not less than $100,000, and this money will be enough only to develop the system itself. In this case, you still need to purchase video cameras that will recognize a person. And yet, there is one nuance. It is unclear how a person will confirm that he really wants to get this or that service, this or that product. For example, if we're talking about a regular cafeteria.
Каким образом человек будет подтверждать, что он действительно хочет получить ту или иную услугу, там, тот или иной товар, если говорить какой-то там столовый, либо какой-то доступ к чему-то там. Now
at the legislative level, before withdrawing any money from the client, it is necessary that he confirms this. From the point of view of the technology and software that will be needed to create such content, the project will be very time-consuming. Because in addition to programming, you will also need work related to a narrow specialization in the field of video fixing and 3D modeling. It is possible to commercialize such a project, but in Kazakhstan there are several limiting factors for such projects. The first is the number of citizens. We still have a small population to produce this kind of content. You need to gain a critical mass of customers who can afford to buy such a system and consume this kind of content.
Клиентов, которые могут себе позволить приобрести такого рода устройства и потреблять такого рода контент. Рекомендую ребятам посмотреть на бизнес-план, на маркетинг.
Look at the business plan, the marketing plan, and for example, contact a major customer who has a need for this product and sit down with him and just see if the customer will be able to afford to order such a service. This could be a one-time product for one client, and it will be possible to test all your ideas on it. This is my recommendation for this startup.
Рекомендация по этому стартапу.
A new smart payment system, AllPay, has been launched in Kazakhstan. This is a mobile platform that turns the phone into an electronic wallet. Using a smartphone, the service allows you to send transfers, withdraw and add funds, pay for goods and services in supermarkets, cafes, restaurants, and online stores. At the same time, the commission for transactions will be paid not by users, but by merchandisers. Smile. You are filmed by a hidden camera. Few people know that the quality of work of Kazakhstan Centers of Citizen Services is monitored 12 hours a day. All video traffic flows into a single situational center, which was established under the Ministry of Investment and Development of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Specialists of this department in real time analyze how many citizens are waiting for their turn and how quickly they are served. You will learn more about the work of the Situation Center and the smart payment system in our next program.